I started out Fortnite as a true noob with 0 wins just like everyone else. Times have changed though with nearly 800 wins later, and I'm here in Season 5 to share my tips for what helped me gain the hero status here in Fortnite. I don't actually think of myself as a hero, it just makes the title of the series sound all cute and fuzzy for you guys, so don't judge me for that. In terms of basketball, I would consider myself more of to be a Nick Young. Swaggy P isn't quite good enough to be a starter, but he can give you some nice flair off the bench, and that's what I think I bring to the table. Whether you are just starting out in the game and you die by the storm all the time, or you're around my same skill level, this video is aimed to help you improve your game in Fortnite. I was inspired to make this series a long time ago because of all those 12-year-olds that comment mean things and talk trash in Fortnite. They say stuff like get good console pleb or ligma. Thank God I don't have that disease yet. But I know for every mean commenting 12-year-old out there are some nice players out there too. These tips are designed to turn the nice players into Michael Jordans. So if you're out there and this is a nice person watching, let me give you some nice tips that will help you stomp the trolls and sit down some toxic players in Fortnite. Now, let's get bumping. I talk about landing as being important all the time in pretty much all of my videos, but in this video, I won't just be saying the obvious things you've heard everywhere on YouTube, like aim for the low points between mountains, off the map, and water areas as well. These are all important ideas to know, don't get me wrong there, but I think to truly improve at your landings, you need to pick 2 to 3 key areas on the map that you always land at. For me, I chose Tilted Towers, Pleasant Park, and Retail Row. Occasionally I'll mix it up with other locations, but all 3 of these are really busy whenever the bus rides directly over them. If you truly want to get better at the game and earn that MJ status in the arena, you need to land at heavily populated areas. This is the fastest way, guys. This is proven with all the professionals. It's the fastest way to improving your game. It also helps you memorize the best ways for landing at your go-to locations, and you're going to memorize where everything is. For example, whenever the bus is flying towards Tilted from the south, I have that drop absolutely down. I know that dropping over the river right next to this hill will grant me a perfect drop right into Big Gray. After landing in these locations game after game, I have my personal preferences on best spots to land in the cities for early weapons and high intensity fights. Whether you choose any of these spots to be your favorites to land, or you choose other locations like Salty Springs and Greasy Grove, the most important part is memorizing where all the chests, floor drops, and ammo crates are so that you can loot fast. The faster you can loot up on weapons and materials, the faster you'll be getting into fights, taking people off guard, and improving your chances of survival overall. In terms of what you should be coming out of the landing with, you should really try to leave your starting location with around 600 total materials, but you can slide by with 400 if you're feeling risky. If you already have your favorite 3 locations, let me know where you like to drop down below. Just don't say Anarchy Acres, Moisty Mire, or Dusty Depot. It's still a touchy subject in the Fortnite community, so yeah, I get it guys, I'm with you. Let's get into the inventory setup and meta advantages in the game. This is really where it becomes extremely important to keep up to date with Fortnite patches and what weapons are currently dominating in the game. One way to do this is to just go on Fortnite's website and look at their patch notes. That's what I personally do, but I know there are tons of videos out there, including ones on our channel, that keep you up to date on what's going on, so you have that option for you as well. At one point, double pump was the best option in the game. I know you guys remember those days. Then explosives were extremely strong, but both of these things got steadily weakened, and now SMGs received the biggest boost in strength in the game, even though there was a recent patch that actually weakened them as well. No matter what the meta is, I think it's vital to always have at least one ranged weapon, whether that be an assault rifle or a sniper, depending on what you're better with. Always take a SCAR over a sniper. You can use the SCAR to take down structures and apply pressure from a distance, and those abilities are too valuable to pass up on, especially in the late game situations. Next, make sure you have 2 guns for close range combat such as a shotgun and an SMG. This gives you the ability to switch back and forth in those close range combat situations. If you hit someone with one pump shot, you can quickly switch over to your SMG to finish them off. This is the meta that's dominating right now, and I highly recommend that you use it. In your final 2 slots, prioritize healing items. Feel free to have explosives or a sniper in there. I understand that it's fun to mix up your loadout with other weapons, and I do that all the time too. But if you decide to go with a hunting rifle instead of an assault rifle, make sure you still have an SMG for mid-range combat. Mid-range combat is really important in game right now, so you need to have something such as an assault rifle or an SMG to deal damage in those situations. But at the end of the day, what you rock in your inventory comes down to personal preference. Use the guns that you are best with, but also keep that meta in mind. Positioning is something I've never talked about in videos before, but it is easily one of the most important aspects of dominating Fortnite games. Instead of charging at another player out in the open, use positioning to give yourself a leg up in the battle. There are mountains, buildings, and other obstacles all over the map that you can use to easily gain that high ground on an opponent. A lot of times, you can deal chip damage to make them weak, then use the high ground to finish them off. A nice strategy from the high ground is to just keep applying pressure. Don't give the other player time to escape or to heal. I know you're so used to watching flashy plays from the PC gods, but most fights do not actually have to be those skyscraper builds if you use positioning correctly. Look at one of the best console pros, Nick Merckx for example. He consistently hits 20+ kill wins and dominates solo squads by using positioning and great aim to take down other players. Yes, I know he's a console pleb just like me, but he also competes successfully in cross-platform tournaments all the time. Extreme building is great, but it is not always necessary in every single fight. Rotations are also an underrated skill in great Fortnite players. If you ever want to go for more kills or really just improve your gameplay overall, you need to practice rotating around the map effectively. Watching tournaments such as Friday Fortnite will definitely help you start to learn how to rotate. Listen to the TSM and FaZe guys call out where they think more players will be and how they move around the map. This entails looting your point of interest efficiently, clearing out that area of other players, then quickly moving to the next hotspot on the map. Knowing where to rotate is the hardest part to figure out, and trust me, it was hard for me too. It takes practice to truly understand. Make sure you watch the back of the bus to see how many players are dropping out of the bus at certain locations. Let's say the bus is heading in from the north over Pleasant Park towards Tilted Towers, but very few players drop from the bus at first. Then you know that most of the players are going to be around the Tilted Towers and Salty Springs regions midway through the game. Always keep in mind what popular locations are nearby and move towards those on your way to the next circle, keeping in mind where the bus really went over and where a lot of players are most likely going to be, and that's going to help you run into more players midway through the game. These types of rotations will inevitably lead to more build battles and overall help you get more kills, or at the very least, more practice in the game. It also helps to move around the larger gap between the current circle and the next. These larger gaps are more likely to have players running out in the open away from the storm. A lot of people camp in 1x1 towers or inside towns whenever they're in the next circle. This makes fights take way longer and leads you to running into fewer players. So try your best to find the open areas on the way to the next zone, and you will 100% be finding more players. Remember guys, you're going to find a lot more people if you're not camping. Yeah, it does decrease your chances of winning when you're out in the open, but that's kind of a sacrifice you have to make for more kills and really getting better at the game. Camping is never going to help you, it's really just going to take you longer to get better at the game. I can't possibly go through this guide without talking about building, the biggest thing in Fortnite and what really separates it from all the other battle royales. If you're new to the game or a casual player thus far, my guess is that you have a lot of work to do in improving in your build fights. Mouse and keyboard players have a huge advantage over controller players with that ability to build quickly while still mastering their aim. If you're a mouse and keyboard player, I recommend you check out players like Myth and Nick830 to improve your building skills. There are plenty of good pro builders, those are just a couple. Building on console is much slower, but I do have some tips for speeding up the process. First of all, you need to make sure you're using a sensitivity that you can build quickly with while also maintaining solid aim. I switch between a 7 and 8 sensitivity for both my X and Y. This allows me to build a 1x1 fairly quickly while still hitting my shotgun shots in fights. In terms of how to actually build on console, I recommend using the Builder Pro controller setup and practicing switching between ramps, walls, and floors quickly. Roofs can be used as well, but master the basics before you start doing advanced building. Make use of limited time modes also, like the playground mode, to practice building. There has never been a better time to get good than when you have access to a mode like playground, so make sure you take advantage of it. I literally spent 3 hours the other day with one of my buddies that's just as good as me, and we just did build fights for 3 hours and we were having a great time doing it. So it's great practice and it's also good fun with a friend. I don't have enough time to go through all the builds in this video, so check out our Fortnite building guides playlist after the video for more. I've made plenty of videos on stuff like ramp rushes and how to counter people from the high ground, so there's so much into building that I just can't possibly pack it all in right here. What I'm about to say might be the most important thing in this entire video, so if you didn't get anything out of everything I've said so far, hopefully you will listen to this right here, and it's that if you really want to be good at the game, you cannot be lazy. And this is the one thing I really need to work on. This is what separates the top tier pros from me, and it's just the fact of always going to harvest resources and making sure that you're good on mats. You should be coming out of places with at least 600 materials, and it's something that I just get lazy and I don't do. And when you're rolling up behind somebody, you should lay a ramp and then get the shots on them after you've laid the ramp, rather than waiting to build and seeing if you can get some good headshots. A lot of times when you're being proactive in your fights, you're going to win them so much more than when you're just waiting and trying to get, maybe a couple good headshots. Well, that person can turn around, lay a wall, start building up, and then all of a sudden you're in an even build battle, whereas you could have been on a ramp already, getting that high ground going into the fight. It's just little things like that and just staying active in the game, not being lazy, that will really make you a good player, and it's stuff I need to work on too. Trust me, it's really something that I've been needing to work on. You don't have to be a pro gamer to win in Fortnite, you just have to make great use of your time and apply these strategies the right way. This takes weeks of playing the game and consistency to truly get good. Practice is what will really make you a hero in Fortnite, and I understand that not everyone has the time to play often. Trust me, I understand as a student athlete in college that other things are more important than video games for most people. However, spending an hour or so of your time practicing in Fortnite rather than aimlessly scrolling through Instagram or Twitter feeds will help you get better. And I know a lot of you people out there just spend your time on those social media sites. Trust me, I've lost countless hours on them as well. So get a couple of friends that play the game and start a routine of playing together every night, or at least 4 nights a week or something like that. You will get better, I promise. You all have absolutely changed my life, and as the channel has almost hit 100,000 subscribers, I cannot thank you enough. If you like the Zero to Hero series and want to see the series continued, subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video. I don't usually ask for stuff like that, but I just want to keep growing this awesome community that's really been changing my life. So thank you to everyone who watched this video. If you have any questions outside, catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Much love, Rodey fam, and peace. See you all in the next video.
Started as a zero, I was chasing dreams, trying to turn into a hero. Sniper rifle, 5 rifles, going for the title. I could be the one that they idol. Ramp rush, climbing stairs, fire here, I'm over there. It's Rodey fam, hit you while we flying through the air.